few years ago, Southpac took over as trustee on an existing trust. It was a re-domicile from another jurisdiction. The trustee, as well as the existing investment advisor, had placed the funds of the trust into a custodian, and that custodian had gone bankrupt. At the time, the custodian was going through a liquidation proceeding. That's when we got involved. As a result of the liquidation proceedings and the bankruptcy, the funds in the trust were essentially trapped. We had no way of getting them out. The client came to Southpac and they wanted to get the funds of the trust out of this liquidation proceedings, out of the insolvent custodian, into a secure custodian in a secure jurisdiction. When we discussed the options with them, they were really interested in the Swiss option, Swiss banking being the gold standard of banking around the world. So we presented that option to them and made a plan to go forward. We chose a Swiss banker that we'd worked with for over 15 years and an investment advisor that we'd worked with for over a decade. We introduced the client to both. They hit it off straight away, and then we proceeded to start the account openings at the Swiss bank with that advisor appointed. There were two key challenges we had to solve in this situation. The first was a really aggressive liquidator who was close to the courts in their own jurisdiction. Our in-house legal team, in conjunction with our banking and investment team, worked on providing all the documentation we needed. We also pushed back against the liquidator and pushed against the court system to try and limit the liquidator's fees and maximize the amount of funds we could get out of the account. The second challenge we had was due to money laundering concerns at this insolvent custodian. The liquidator had made it really difficult to get funds out. For cash or stock transfers, the only way to get funds out was into the US. This didn't work for a Swiss account or other offshore accounts. With our relationship with a Swiss banker, we worked out a strategy where we could use a sub-custodian in the US to take the funds from the existing jurisdiction to the US and ultimately to Switzerland. So we got the funds out via a different route. The result is we got the funds out of this insolvent custodian. We got them into a secure jurisdiction. We got them into a secure custodian. We set up relationships with a bank and an investment advisor, and those relationships have lasted till today. As a result of all this work, the funds were no longer frozen. They were no longer stuck. They were in a bank, in a secure jurisdiction. They were in a safe place. The beneficiaries of the trust could request them at any time. The way Southpac went about this was through our long-term relationships. We have long-term relationships with partners that are experts in their field. Through our experience working with these partners, in the case of the bank, over 15 years, in the case of the investment advisor, over 10 years, they know our business really well. We know their business really well. It was only through these relationships that we could solve this problem.